Right, hello everybody. It's been a long time since I've been on the website. I've been enjoying seeing those of you who have been coming to school, and I've also been enjoying seeing lots of you on our Zoom lessons as well. But it's my turn to read the story for this week's home learning, which is one of my favourites. Seeing as we've been learning about mini beasts for the last few weeks, and then we started looking at the seaside, and now we're going to start thinking about under the sea as our theme of learning. So, found the perfect story that kind of links all those topics together, and it's one that lots of you will already know. It's The Snail and the Whale. Fantastic, by Julia Donaldson. So, here we go. You can even join in at your homes if you know some of the repeating phrases. Okay, let me just shuffle over a bit so you can see. This is a tale of a tiny snail and a great big grey-blue humpback whale. This is a rock as black as soot, and this is a snail with an itchy foot. The sea snail slithered all over the rock and gazed at the sea and the ships in the dock, and she gazed as she sniffed and she sighed. The sea is deep and the world is wide. How I long to sail, said the tiny snail. These are the other snails in the flock, who all stuck tight to the smooth black rock, and said to the snail with the itchy foot, "Be quiet, don't wiggle, sit still, stay put." But the tiny sea snail sighed and sniffed, then cried, "I've got it, I'll hitch a lift." This is the trail of the tiny snail, a slithery trail that looped and curled and said, "Lift wanted around the world." We've got a pigeon who's come to join us on the roof. I don't know if you can hear him. He's come to listen to the story. This is the whale who came one night when the tide was high and the stars were bright. A humpback whale immensely long, who sang to the snail a wonderful song of shimmering ice and coral caves and shooting stars and enormous waves. And this is the tale of the humpback whale. He held it out of the starlit sea and said to the snail, "Come sail with me." This is the sea, so wild and free, that carried the whale and the snail on his tail to towering icebergs and far-off lands, with fiery mountains and golden sands. These are the waves that arched and crashed, that foamed and frolicked and sprayed and splashed the tiny snail on the tail of the whale. These are the caves beneath the waves, where stripy fish with feathery fins and sharks with hideous toothy grins swam round the whale and the snail on his tail. This is the sky, so vast and high, sometimes sunny and blue and warm, but sometimes filled with a thunderstorm, with zigzag lightning flashing and frightening the tiny snail on the tail of the whale. Can you still see him? He's still there. As she gazed at the sky, and the sea and the land, the waves and the caves and the golden sand, she gazed and gazed, amazed by it all, and she said to the whale, "I feel so small." But then came the day the whale lost his way. Oh no. These are the speedboats running a race, zigging and zooming all over the place, upsetting the whale with their ear-splitting roar and making him swim too close to the shore. This is the tide slipping away. And this is the whale lay beached in the bay. "Quick, off the sand, back to the sea," cried the snail. "I can't move on land, I'm too big," moaned the whale. The snail felt helpless and terribly small. "I've got it," she cried, and she started to crawl. I must not fail, said the tiny snail. Do you know where she's going? This is the bell on the school in the bay, ringing the children in from their play. This is the teacher holding her chalk, telling the class, sit straight, don't talk. This is the board as black as soot. And this is the snail with the itchy foot. A snail, the teacher turns pale. Look, say the children, it's leaving a trail. And this is the trail of the tiny snail, a slithery trail saying, save the whale. These are the children running from school, fetching the fireman and digging a pool, squirting and spraying to keep the whale cool. This is the tide coming into the bay. And these are the villagers shouting, hooray! As the whale and the snail travel safely away. Back to the dock and the flock on the rock, who said, how time's flown, haven't you grown? And the whale and the snail told their wonderful tale of shimmering ice and coral caves, shooting stars and enormous waves, and of how the snail, so small and frail, with her looping, curling, silvery trail, saved the life of the humpback whale. Then the humpback whale held out its tail, and on crawled snail after snail after snail. And they sang to the sea as they all set sail on the tail of the grey-blue humpback whale. There we go. Love that story. And what a great way to move from our learning all about mini beasts into our learning all about under the sea. So I hope you were listening really carefully to the creatures and the settings and the words that Julia Donaldson used to describe the characters and the places in that book, because we're going to be thinking about all those types of under the sea things during our learning this week. So hope you all have lots of fun and look forward to seeing you all soon. Okay, take care everybody. Bye.